Welcome to Energy is Currency, the Millennial Development Podcast devoted to helping you mind your business personally and professionally. My name is Alexis Williams, and I am your marketing consultant, idea generator, and mini modern philosopher, the entrepreneur that checks all the boxes, whatever that may mean. Subscribe to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and iHeartRadio to listen to every gem in every episode. Season 1 is available on all streaming platforms. Welcome back to Energy is Currency. I am Lexi, ready to talk about all the things. I am here for an interesting conversation today. I am joined by Barbra Banner, who is a psychic medium, and please always update me if my language isn't strong enough. So if it's
psychic medium
okay,
and trance medium, so a little
man,
both.
I am so excited to get into this conversation because on just a personal level, I was sharing with Barbara, I really value ancestor worship and connecting and understanding and respecting that soul to soul connection beyond just our physical body. So I am going to be fangirling today, and Barbara is going to be leading us. So we'll
Just
start
keep the
with her.
questions coming. So
Okay. So tell us about psychic mediumship. How does that work? How did you become a part of it? Were you like in kindergarten where you were seeing stuff like,
I think I'm going to remember all these questions one at a time.
yes, ma'am. So just tell us about your experience with psychic mediumship.
It didn't come to me until the pandemic. So, and it was like they put me in under ice. They put me in ice for like 35 years, and which is before the pandemic, and then decided there's a lot of people out there that could use this now. They're coming out, and let's wake her up. Let's just reactivate her.
Okay.
So I did not have. I was not seeing. I didn't have a playmate who was invisible to everybody. I didn't have anything. When I was about 13, I felt. I don't know. There's something happening. A little psychic, and I told my friends, I think I'm a witch. Okay, because I really didn't know what else to say. I didn't know from mediumship.
Right.
And then I sort of just got interested. I loved watching Sylvia Brown, who's an old-time medium, and it was just fascinating to me. And then nothing. I was a successful advertising and marketing writer and consultant. So I had a great job, had a wonderful time. And for 35 years before, while I was working, I wanted to do volunteer work and something beside writing a check, to lift my sleeves up and help. So I found a woman's crisis hotline, which was wonderful to do. And the training was amazing for months and months. And I worked with great therapists and specialists in every kind of trauma and situation.
That's a beautiful way to give back.
Yeah. It was great. And then I needed an adrenaline rush. And I spent like about 10 years at Cedars-Sinai Hospital emergency room.
How was that?
That was intense, but I liked it. I wasn't, blood doesn't scare me.
Okay.
Unless they're taking it out of my body. Then
right.
And then came the doozy. Someone told me about the city's crisis response team for Los Angeles. And I trained for it at the police academy and everything. And we were called out on a scene where there was a deceased body.
Mm-hmm.
The police were there, and the coroner was either there or on the way. And there were either witnesses that were traumatized, or their family came on the scene when they got a call that their son was in a motorcycle accident.
Mm-hmm.
So a team would go to the scene and help the family, because the police are measuring and taking pictures. They don't have time for the family who's collapsing and just
oh wow
frozen with grief. So that's what I did. And we'd get called out in the middle of the night, whatever. And my friend said, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Because I can."
Okay. That one of my favorite responses to almost everything.
Because I can.
Because
Okay, I'm going to use
I
that more.
can. Okay. So then what? I'm sitting on like the
Well,
edge of my
during the pandemic, I, I had a paranormal storm going on at my house.
Really?
There were orbs in videos I was taking. There were lights, the fans in both rooms were going on like 50 miles an hour. I thought I'd get decapitated. And the lights were blinking. And in one of the fans, there was no light bulb. I had removed it prior to put it in a different fan. So, and things were flying off the shelf. A wall like flew across the room. And in the living room on the mantle was my mother-in-law's picture. I love her dearly.
Mm.
And she flew off the mantle as well, wanting attention.
Mm.
And I just said, okay, they're calling me. I mean, you're going to say, no, not interested to spirit. I don't think.
Right? Block.
And I took a class
Okay.
and I aced it. Let's just say that I had never even meditated before. And on my first practice at home, I like locked myself in a closet. My husband saw all the stuff going on, so he knew I wasn't insane.
Okay.
And I'm meditating, and all of a sudden I see my father who had passed. And he's like looking over a half a wall with some other spirits. And he's saying, "She's going to do it. She's going to do it." And I did it.
Oh, this is
And
so
after
cool.
that, it was so fast. I loved it. You never know what's going to happen. I could not even believe the things coming out of my mouth. And later I heard from my mother, who was 103 and a half, when I finally told her, I thought, she's going to go over the edge. This is going to be it for her, which is where she wanted to go. But anyway, when I said, I'm talking to Dad, I'm a medium now. She said, your grandmother used to drag me to psychics and tea leaf readers and card readers. And she said, your grandmother had the juju too. So,
I love this.
Yes. Almost 4. When were you going to tell me?
By the way.
And then other people who channeled or that, read me said, you've been doing this for centuries. That's why it just like, they turned on the button and I popped up a medium. So it was a lot of fun.
That is so cool. And I cannot wait for Netflix to pick up your story. Because I want to see this. I want to see your husband's perspective. And then I want to see your dad's perspective talking.
Well, send them a letter.
Right?
Okay?
Email. Let me put that on my to-do list. We need to talk. Netflix, hello. So what do you enjoy about it? What keeps bringing you back to it?
Well, I have a little different perspective. I believe that what I'm doing, we're all doing, is sacred.
For
what
sure.
we do.
It absolutely is.
Help people connect and to help them heal and to get answers for them that things left unsaid. So many things, wanting to hear I'm sorry. There's so much
closure.
And when you can provide it, it lifts them up. And I try to do it in a very light way because the way it works is spirit is up at a much higher vibration than we are. So I raise mine, they lower theirs, and we meet in the middle. And that's when we can communicate. So
okay,
it raises the vibration because nothing can get in the way of your loved one getting to you or you feeling them like grief. It's like they have to walk through wet cement to get to you. But when the pathway is open and clear and you're feeling light and joy, then things happen. Then the miracles happen.
Yeah.
So I do try to make people feel that way. And I do read the room. My daughter always would say, "Read the room, Mom. We're not laughing." Okay. So I do read the room to
Yeah.
make sure um, that they're in the same place with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they're open, because a lot of people who, especially when someone just passes, they don't want to laugh. They don't want to smile. They think they would feel guilty
Yeah.
enjoying something.
Yeah.
And that's something they shouldn't want, because the only thing spirit wants when they pass, you know how our parents would say, "I'd cut off my right arm for you."
Yeah.
Okay. Spirit does not want your appendages. Okay. They're not
You can
interested
hold
in
on
that.
to it.
What they want is for you to find joy and and love again. They do not have
Got
feelings of
it.
jealousy
So it
or, anger.
so
All
it's
they want.
literally an energy transfer. So
Yes.
transfer from spirit, you're operating as an energetic vessel, but
I'm
then
a vessel.
it pours over into them to raise them from the frequency of grief to a higher, much more livable frequency. Oh, I just love that.
There's nothing is better to get through grief
That's so
than
powerful.
joy. Okay.
Yeah.
And light and the feeling of love. Love is the only thing stronger than grief. So a lot of times I'll say, think of that little puppy you had, how much you love that little,
Hmm.
and want to squeeze it. That brings it up.
Yeah,
That
it
brings you
does.
up.
No, it really, really does. I don't think I had considered the
It's all
emotional
about
frequency
energy.
transfer. It absolutely is. If you know anything about this show, this is a David Hawkins fan club, and I just really respect the energies, the scale of energies and the emotional frequencies that we exist on. And I had never put mediumship in
It's total
into
energy.
practice on this with the scale and use, and just man, that is an extreme power exchange. So how do you fill up your vessel after being such a pouring out to others? What does that feel like? Like if I talk for more than like 3 hours, I need like 4 days to be quiet to recharge.
Well, it does. When I offer one of my um, sessions can be with a trance message where I like get into another state of mind and, I'm not here, and give a message from the loved one that you want.
Okay.
And when I'm up, I don't remember hardly anything. It's like that's not me. It's them. And I love when they say things that are really sound crazy, because they'll say, "I understood that she was doing origami the last hour of her life," kind of thing. And
Yeah, yeah. Only
little
something
did
they
they
would know.
realize,
Yeah.
right? They'll throw. Spirit gives you what you need to know at the time, not
Absolutely.
what you want to know. People come and say, "What color pajamas was I wearing the night he passed?" And I'll say, "I don't know." And you know what I mean? That's not what we're here for.
No.
So they'll give you what you need to know.
Yeah. Have you ever had an experience with where you were like, "Hey, I'm not participating in this." Would you mind tapping into that?
Well, when a client is so skeptical
Mm.
that they don't believe
They're
anything,
resistant.
they're so resistant. It's just bad energy for me, and that's what we're all trying to
It's a
keep it
block. They
light.
can't pour in. Okay.
And you're supposed to have three legs on the stool, and everyone has to be doing their part. So that's the hardest.
Okay.
I tell this story a lot, but it's so funny. A client, everything I said, I don't, you could have gotten that in the newspaper. It could have been on TV. That's too general. It was a nightmare. And so I just said to her, "This isn't really working for me, and I'm going to refund you." Um, and I had her husband who had committed suicide. I had him here. I knew exactly what he looked like. I knew everything, but she just was trying to give me things
Oh.
that had nothing to do with it. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, several days later, he comes to me. Once in a while, I do get woken up by spirit because they need to talk to me.
For sure.
And it was her husband, and he showed me a half of a toasted bagel that was scooped out. You know
Mm-hmm.
how women scoop it out to save 5 calories and then fill it with
Cream
cream
cheese.
cheese?
Yes, perfect. Balanced diet.
And so he said, just tell her. And so I got in touch with her and I said, I know this sounds a little crazy, but I just have to tell you because he woke me up. And I said, does that mean anything to you? She goes, no, that's why you called me, to tell me. She goes, that means nothing to me. She was not nice either. So
She was
uh,
brokenhearted. It
a
does
week
not
later,
justify her behavior, and I do see her being very brokenhearted.
yes, that is so true. Um, a week later, she contacts me. She goes, "You're not going to believe this." She said, "I took my daughter to see the in-laws, and while I was there, the father-in-law, who was the husband's father, said, I invented a product." And I have a prototype, and let's see if you know what it is. So she said he brought out some contraption. She didn't know what it was. She said, I have no idea what this is for. He said, it's a bagel scooper. She said they screamed, they cried, they laughed. They were
She
absolutely
needed a
blown
breakthrough.
away
Oh my goodness.
that he was communicating with them and letting her know this stuff is real, sweetie.
Yeah.
And how would I know that my dad has invented a bagel
How
scooper?
would Barbara know, right? Why would Barbara
Right.
call
How am
you
I
in the
supposed
middle
to
of the
know?
night to tell you this, right?
Right. So, so out of some of the people who are really skeptical,
Hmm.
Spirit, puts on a puts on a good one so
Oh,
that
I
I can
love that.
tell them. That's not our job. They run the show. They don't It's not me. I don't go back and say, what do you think about this? What can they know everything. Spirit is intelligent.
Wow.
They don't make mistakes.
I love that. I feel like,
The medium can, if our head is involved. The best thing for a medium is not to have her head involved or his head at all. Be thinking about something else. Just we're a vessel. Just
yes,
give me, I'll tell you what I see. I'm like reporter.
right. I just feel like so many people are resistant to this, but it keeps them very trapped. It keeps them in the space of ruminating and what it could have been if this and what if this had happened and if only we were this, and to have that kind of confirmation
Right.
is such a powerful tool to healing and moving forward.
Absolutely. And to understand that we pick our parents, we sign up for all the good and the bad
Yes,
in our lives.
yes.
Okay? If we have an abusive husband, we signed up for it.
Ooh.
And there's always a reason. We are all here to learn lessons
Yeah.
and experience things. And the harder the lesson, the more karma you can burn off, and it's
Touche.
the more your soul will expand, and you'll
Touche.
appreciate. And you don't know what it is when you come down here. They wipe you clean. So as Dolores Cannon says, it's not a test
No.
if you know the question, you know? So we're not supposed to know anything. Our souls are supposed to evolve so that we do the right thing this time. And if you don't pass the test, you got to come back and you'll redo that life until you pass the test.
So, if may I ask a reincarnation question? Because I'm trying to manifest my next life as a frog. I know this sounds very silly, but I'm like, you know what? How do we become that next life, right? And I know like a lot of karma and dharma is involved, but I'm really interested in reincarnating as a frog. What do I need to do in order to align myself with that timeline? Like, what does that look like?
Well, I don't know about you having the ability to do that. And
Okay.
I'm sure there's good backstory, but I don't want to know it right now. Um, you can
It's just
email me.
always been something very silly where I'm just like, I don't want to reincarnate into another person. Let me just be a
Well, you
frog.
may be able to. You may be able to when you pass from this life and transition to your energetic self.
Right?
At a certain point, you're going to probably want to come back and take off some more karma and learn some new lessons because
Yeah,
forever is a long
for
time
sure.
to just okay. Um, and you work with a team. You work with your guides. You work with masters and angels and uh, 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 you know groups,
Yeah.
and you all pick out what you think what would be an interesting life for you.
Okay.
So keep that in the back of your head.
I am. That is the
Um,
seed planted.
and when you're ready to come back, you can throw that out to the team
Right?
and say, I don't know if a guide's going to want to be a guide to a frog, an amphibian. Um, but that's something I don't know about, and you'll be able to find out when you get there.
I
So
think
don't
that is
worry.
so funny, but I've always been very interested in where do our souls go? What do they do? What is our purpose? What do we do next?
Our purpose is to keep evolving, our souls to keep evolving. I think when we get to the Mother Teresa, stage, or Gandhi, we might be done. There's a certain point where you don't really need to come back. You really have learned everything, and
Yeah.
you're ready to go, ready to stay. And there's so much to do and see and learn. If you can only imagine, everything in the universe is there for you to study and explore and go to different planets and
I
and
love
learn about Atlantis, what happened in Atlantis,
that.
and all these things. You could stay busy, and everybody has a job.
Mm,
Everybody has to serve others.
okay.
It's usually something you're interested
Everybody has a job to serve others.
in this lifetime as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you have to, or that's going to be one of your lessons next time.
So, what is your client intake process? How does someone get in contact with you? Is it like a calling thing? Do you pick the client sometimes? I'm sorry, that's
Well,
so
I believe, well, first of all, whenever I'm on podcasts, I usually get a lot of people going on my website and booking.
yeah.
Um, so, and I always ask, why'd you pick me? And they said, I just saw you and I knew I had to contact you.
Yeah.
I was drawn to you, your personality, whatever. I felt it wasn't intimidating. So there's always, you'll know the medium you should go to.
Okay.
And I do believe spirit sends you some, and
Oh.
got to have a word with them about that mean lady. But they usually send people that are just lovely and are
Yeah.
just in such pain
I
or
wonder I
have so
wonder
many questions.
I wonder if any of my spirits have connected us. Like what that would look like. Like hmm.
Like are you asking me if I see any spirits around
Yes,
you right
is
now?
anybody else hanging out? I have my cats here, but is it just the three of us?
Well, they're always around us
Ooh.
in a way. They always know what we're thinking. You don't have to say it out loud. They know what we're doing. They're not interested in anything physical. It's only your soul. So they're not in there when you're taking a bath. Don't worry. Okay. They're doing more.
Mhm.
Um, that's it. So um, let me just tune in to see before we started this. I felt the presence of like a little old late, a grandmotherly type, or even great grandmotherly type who was petite but a fireball.
Okay.
And she okay, I'm getting goosebumps. When they get goosebumps, they're like saying, yeah. She also, like, she had a cane, but she was so feisty, she might even push you away or play with it with you. does this have any memory? Do you even know any of your great grandparents? I feel like it's really up there.
No, I don't know any of my great grandparents. I did have a grandmother and grandfather that passed last year. Um,
And
I
was she a little feisty one, or that wasn't her?
I don't feel like it's her.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well, ask around in your family.
I
Maybe
will,
somebody
because there
somebody
is
will.
I do have a grandmother that I look a lot alike, but I'll have to
Yeah.
check to see if she had a cane. I don't remember her. Oh, I do have my great grandmother, and I remember her having a cane. Huh? Puts that in notes. Check in about grandmother.
You do remember her having a cane?
One of them,
Uh-huh.
but I don't remember playing with her or the cane though.
Okay.
Hmm.
A lot of times I get a lot of symbolism.
Yeah.
It's their personality. You know how you can poke somebody, you're somebody who might um try to
Got like a witty relationship with.
yes, 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 that it was
Gotcha.
a fun.
Gotcha.
It was fun. It was, it was whimsical. It was she could just, give you a little poke on your back or something and say, "Get moving, you. Come on." It was just the kind of personality she would have.
Then that is my grandmother that passed last year. She didn't have a
Okay.
cane, but she
Doesn't
was me and
doesn't
her
yeah,
we could do the dozens with each other. That's going
exactly.
on
That
the glory. Yeah.
feels on that.
Mhm.
So that's who it is. Now, sometimes a cane can also just mean they had a lot of trouble walking at the end as well. It
And
doesn't
she
mean that
did.
they
She
had
had both
a cane.
like hips or knees or something replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was something she would have. There's so much symbolism in it for me,
Right? I love that.
Yeah. So you got to be like Sherlock Holmes to figure it all out. So
Right? But
she's come.
the very deeper connection and being able to see that and understand those translation of details. That's really that's really deep work. How do you like is that something that you have to tap into or is that like
No, I'm very fortunate. I can see, hear, and feel spirit, and um, give you their exact words, and also give you their movements. In my intro to people, I say, and they make me do movements. I said, so if I bust into a twerk, please don't call 911. Okay. It has nothing to do with a medical emergency.
whoever is channeling me, please get Barbara to twerk. This would be awesome for the show.
I can recreate something that I did that somebody made me do, but yeah, the twerk.
Have you ever
Was,
had a physical translation like that where
oh yeah, I've had, I was telling somebody about a grandmotherly figure that I was seeing, and they said, "Well, that could be my dad's mother or my mother's mother. I need something, So I said, "Okay, let me see." And then all of a sudden, I'm like going like this, and I'm
oh my
saying,
god.
I'm swallowing a sword. This woman is dancing there around with a sword and like a belly dance. And she goes, "Oh, that's my mom's mom." I said, "Really?" She goes, "She was like Turkey's number one belly dancing woman with a sword. She went all over the continent and did her dances. She
That
was
is
famous."
so cool.
So, here I am, just like eating a sword. Um, and another woman I had, that happens a lot. Because a lot of grandmothers or mother or, people that are similar to others. Another one, she said, "You got to show me something that I'll know it's her." And then all of a sudden I'm going like this.
Oh my Lanta.
And I'm saying,
Was she a butter churner?
"Yes." I said, "Did she churn butter?" Well, the woman was really teasing me. And she looked at me like, "That, are you okay?" kind of thing. And I said, "Look,
Where
I
is
am
this
not
going,
plunging
right?
a toilet. I am not plunging a toilet." And she goes, "Yeah, she did churn butter. So now I
That
know who
is
it
so
is."
funny. So I think it's so interesting that it's almost like a charades game where you have to
It's everything.
perform it.
And,
I love that.
and
So
I feel so, I have so much gratitude that I can do all this. You know what I
right.
mean? That they have given me the opportunity or the ability to do that. And everybody has the ability to be psychic or a medium.
How
Now, all
so?
mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. We
Okay.
all have a soul.
Okay.
That's it. That's all you need. That's all that's in the toolbox. There's not screwdrivers. There's no hammers. There's, no chocolate bars. It's just all you need is a soul, and you can do it. If you take
Yeah.
some classes, if you like to meditate, it's all there for everybody.
So, how is meditation important to psychic
It's the
powers?
most.
How
It's the
so?
most because you learn to clear your mind.
Mm.
To just listen to nothing kind of thing. And as you do, you get into this like meditative state
Mm-hmm.
where you're buzzing a little, maybe you just feel it's like you are with God, or it's beautiful. People
Yeah.
don't want to get out of it,
Yeah.
it's just feels so good. And everything is open at that point. You're not thinking about picking something up from the bakery, um, or anything.
Right.
You just learn to just be.
Right.
And that's when, and it's also really relaxing because you just listen to a guided meditation. They're all free.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
on YouTube. Just put in guided meditation to see my loved one, guided meditation.
Oh,
It's not going to happen the first time, so don't get yourself all jacked up for that. But it's something that you'll learn that you really like to do it at
yes.
night when nothing else is happening. You can't meditate when a kid's at the door saying, "Mommy, I wet my bed."
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
it's not going to work. You've got to. So do it when you're asleep,
Okay.
when you're going to with earphones.
Because I typically will either listen to like white noise or I've done some. I used to listen to frequency music, like different hertz calibrations
Yes,
as I
that's
slept.
like meditating. Yeah.
Yes.
Just go in and look, and just put in guided meditation. It'll take it to a new level. So if you enjoy just listening to the frequencies, they always play really relaxing music, and you'll love it, and it'll put you to sleep anyway. I'm always waking up in the middle of the night with it on.
Oh,
Um,
wonderful. I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds wonderful. What to our listener, what would you say would they need? Okay, hold on, let me find the sentence because the sentence is how do we get them to open up to
I'm
these types of experiences?
Well, meditation is the most, and people say, I can't meditate, I don't have time. Well, you do have time when your head is on the pillow and you're listening to some music and a guy telling you to.
And the amount of time we spend on our phones at night
Oh my
doom
God.
scrolling could be switched out for a few minutes of meditation music.
Oh yeah, and you'll
For
be
sure.
so relaxed. It's wonderful. I also, at the end of my sessions, I do a little exercise with the client to show them that they can connect right away.
Oh,
Um,
wonderful.
and then once that little exercise works, they can do it all the time with them, and they'll really feel their father around them, or their mother, or their grandmother with a cane. They'll feel it. They'll feel it. So let me tell you what the exercise is, because it's so
Please,
simple.
yes.
It takes a few days for it to work. So I will say to somebody, well, I'm going to say it to you. We're going to do it together.
Okay.
I'm going to count. When I count to 3, I want you to tell me the very first item or thing that comes into your mind. 1, 2, 3. Don't think. What is it?
Lotion.
Lotion. Okay. And so what I'll tell you is, within the next week or so, a facsimile of some sort of lotion, or something that you that you recognize as a lotion thing, is going to come from nowhere. You're not going to expect it. It's like you could be sitting at a stoplight, and the car in front of you starts to go forward, and the license plate is lotion. It's going to be where you least expect it. And I'm going to show you two people who got blown away.
Okay.
I did this to another podcast host, and she said, an elephant. And then she said, I don't know why. And you can't go to the zoo to find the elephant. You can't even look. It's going to
It's
appear
going to
for
come to
you in
you.
some way. Okay. So 2 days later, she sends me this photo. She said, I took my son to a new mini golf place, and look what was on the,
That is
look what was
so
on there.
cool.
A 20-foot elephant. Do you think that spirit didn't put that? They put it in your head because they know where and when you're going to be. Okay. A woman who's like son in her 20s passed. And she said before he died, she asked him, okay, so I said, 1, 2, 3, what is it? She goes, baseball hat. And she said, I hate baseball. I don't even understand why I said that. And then she told me, well, after she got the picture, she sent it to me. She goes, before my son died, we asked him, is there a good restaurant in this city in Mexico that your dad and I should go to?
Mm-hmm.
And he gave her the name of one, and then he passed. And she said she wanted to make a reservation. So she called up. So she looked on the website, and look what the whole ceiling was made of. Baseball hats.
Oh, my Lanta. That is awesome.
So they will put it in you if you are open to it.
Okay.
Now, this woman is probably doing it every day and bringing her daughter in for one day if it was her father. Just say, okay, it's your turn, Susie.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. What's Dad putting in your head? And she'll tell you, and just wait for it to happen.
Okay.
So it can be, and what it does is it makes you believe, because if you don't believe, you will not receive. And it makes you feel connected, so that the next time you see a butterfly land on your head, you'll say, I bet that's Mom, because they do. And do some studying, open up. There's a website called soulproof.com, and it is a treasure trove of information on all things spiritual, like 20 years of articles. So if you want to know if this or that happens or whatever, you can look it up, and they've got everything you need, plus free ebooks. The Dr. Mark Pitzik, who's written like 14 bestsellers, he puts them on there as an ebook, and you can order the ebook free. He just wants to get the word out.
That is such amazing work. I literally, so between two people that I absolutely adore, we have all been seeing red birds everywhere.
Okay, and that is a symbol.
I looked it up, and I had my godmom look it up, and she was sending me articles. I hadn't had a chance to look at it, but I've always known that red birds were visitors from the other side.
And things that come to you, like if you wake up at 3:26, open your phone and put in 3:26 angel number.
Yes, I do that all the time.
I do too. And it gives you what you need to know at the time, and if there's a book on the bookcase that your loved one really liked, pull it out. Or if it's a jar, pull it out and just say, where should I look? And open the book to wherever page it comes, and look carefully, and there's a message for you.
Oh, I
just
love
like
that.
when you hear a song that your loved one liked. Okay? Look up the lyrics. There's a message for you.
Yeah.
It's not just happenstance. It's playing while you're in the car. So there's so many messages, and the butterflies and dragonflies and coins. If you pick up a coin, look at the date. It could be your birth year, or your angel year for somebody who passed. They're trying so hard, but the first thing in your mind when you ask a question is usually the right thing. And if you listen to that,
okay, Okay, I love this. So right now I'm obsessed with the number 66. And at first, everybody, well, if you come from like certain backgrounds,
Well, like
666
666,
is
the
is
devil.
the devil's number. So, but I've
Oh,
healed my relationship with that. So I'm comfortable with 666. But then I started seeing a lot of 66, and I'm like, okay, well, what does this mean? What is
did
going
you
on?
look up 66 angel number?
It says that it's a number of harmony. It's a
Well,
so, and
okay.
I do feel very harmonious in this current point of my life. But but that's my reoccurring angel number because I'm very invested. Oh, a license plate hates to see me coming because I'm analyzing all of the letters, the numbers, the order. What does it
Right,
mean? What connection am I building? But I also have to pull away from overly like forcing a meaning over it, or
right.
or
If it's you and it makes sense, take it. If it's if it doesn't make sense, you don't have to take everything. I mean, we learned from so many different teachers,
yeah.
and some teachers tell you to do it this way, and it doesn't resonate with you. I had one mentor say, "You can't be funny in a reading." She was a nun, by the way, and she says it's sacred what you do. I said it's still sacred, but
I have a sense
I
of
want to be
humor.
authentic. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? Why do I have to hide it? So she was wrong on that one. And
I do agree. I do think she may have missed the
we
mark
all
on
have to
that
be
one.
yourself.
And you
It's
know
just
what? That may not be the style of mediumship that she feels authentic to.
exactly.
It's all
But
about what you align with. I've always treated spirituality and any soul talk as a vehicle. This is your vehicle to how you reach your higher self, whatever that looks like. And
exactly,
and
exactly.
it could be whatever destination you believe it to be. So I've always said I pray that you arrive where you thought you were going to be. Like, let that be in a space of alignment for you. You get that level of alignment. I don't ever want
Right.
to pull away
Do
from
bad
your
things.
experience. Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason, and everything we do has a reaction, and everything is just sort of. We do have free will. We do. We
Absolutely.
can change things. And if you don't like what you think you signed up for, you can change the contract as well. But
But I feel like that what level what level of spiritual growth do you have to be at to even approach a task like that, to rewrite a life contract? What does that look like?
well, Dolores Cannon is amazing person to look up.
Okay.
She's fascinating. Um, and she's one of her sessions does that. She invented a past life regression that takes you more goes more deeply than anything before, where she's talking to aliens
Oh,
and
fun.
just finding out information from everything and everybody. She knows everything. She's gone, but anyway, her life, her studies live on, so
For
she's
sure.
very famous.
I'm gonna check her out. We need to learn
Check
more
her
about
out.
this
She's got a lot of
Dolores
books too.
Cannon. So
Yeah,
how can we get in touch with you? How can we
so easy.
tell me that?
um BarbraBanner.com. No, BannerMedium.com.
Banner
BannerMedium.com.
medium.com.
That's it. And they can find out about me, my history, testimonials, little video clips. On the first page of my website, I've got links to TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And I
Okay.
post little 20, 30-second crazy things that happen in a session, and they're very funny, and oh my gosh, moments and things that I say that I can't believe I said.
Oh,
Trust is
wow.
the main thing. You got to
Yes.
trust what spirit gives you,
Trust what spirit gives you. I'm
because you
writing
don't
that
know really what it doesn't have to mean anything to you. I had a grandmother uh, who who uh, who in spirit, that and her granddaughter was the client, and the grandmother says, if you want more money, do phone sex. And I said, I didn't say that. That's not what I said. I don't know how that came out of my mouth. And the girl is cracking up. She goes, that has been a running joke of me and my husband for years. And just yesterday, I said, I hate that ugly chair. I want to get a new one. He goes, well, you better do phone sex because I'm not paying for it. So you never know.
Right.
You just have to trust that they know. And they know I like to have fun, so they send me people that are very funny too.
I love that. I love that even the spirits get to choose their mediums of who they want to participate with. And they're like, no, give me the fun one. Where's Barb? Where's Barbara? Is she free?
Right, right. And I also believe that I don't like to have a list. I want to be there for people who need it, okay? For people who need a reading and are not just doing it for, get the girls together for a little fun luncheon or something. I want to help.
That's wonderful.
I just let they give me who needs to be read.
I love this. And I'm interested to see how our listeners connect with you. I am. I'm going to have to follow up with you so that I can say, what did they say? What?
Well,
how was I a medium for the medium, right? So,
right.
This has been awesome. I feel so inspired to connect deeper and learn more and open myself up. Because
Suzanne Giesman is fabulous. She was my first medium class.
Say that one more time.
Suzanne Giesman,
Giesman,
Giesemann or something. She's phenomenal. She's like a rock. She's like a superstar in mediumship. So I picked the right one, or they sent me to the right one.
For sure. But I love that you're not a gatekeeper. Okay, you are making sure that you're opening a pathway for new mediums to find the right people as well, and to gain the right exposure. So I'm terribly, terribly excited to figure out.
Well, I want to hear
means. Yes, I want to hear about what lotion means. Yes, but I'm already hearing the downloads too. So this is going to be fun.
I'm interested.
I'm very interested. Okay, well, we cannot talk forever, although I would love to, because I want to hear more stories. Like, I want to know all the tea.
You can have me on again. I got more stories. Like, you can't believe.
I want to catch up on the tea. I want to hear about, have you worked with like celebrities and like what their stories were and all of that kind of stuff. That's going to be fun.
Well, I just did the Mayim Bialik breakdown podcast, which has 2 million subscribers.
Yeah.
So, I'm doing my thing.
You are. I know you are. What we're not going to do is sleep on Barbra Banner. That is not what we're going to do. Okay. But I'm so grateful to have had you on the show. This episode is going to be on YouTube. It'll be on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. So there's plenty of ways to connect and tap in. And then you can always learn more about me at blushbizonline.com. That's where all my business marketing and the home of Energy is Currency podcast. So this has been a pleasure. It really has.
Absolutely loved it. And I can't wait to get a little email from you about.
Yes, ma'am. You're going to get an email. Yes, it's going to be in the subject.
Yes. And some down low on Granny. Okay.
Right? I need to hear what's up. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really genuinely appreciate your time. And don't forget, your energy is your currency. So do what you can, honey. Make it count.
That's right. Thanks.
Awesome.